Hello there and welcome back to some more Gran Turismo 1. Today we'll continue on with our Let's Play. This is episode 14. In today's episode we're taking a look at the special stage Route 11 All-Night Endurance Race 2. 2 before 1 for reasons I'll explain in a second. For this we need a road car, and for this we head to Subaru for the Subaru Impreza Sedan WRX STI version 3. Because why not? Mainly because I haven't used a Subaru yet in this game, and so here's a Subaru. Right, endurance racing. Think endurance racing. I want to be nimble, and so I'm going to go for stage 3 weight reduction. This is apparently against quite upgraded cars, so I guess we just fully max this out again for like the second episode in a row. I was going to like half-arse this, but it's special stage Route 11, which I don't particularly like. It's endurance race, which I'm not particularly great at. So I guess fully upgrading's the way to go in the case of this one. I'm hoping that's going to be set for okay ratios out of the box. I'm not really looking to make too many changes on that one. And then big turbo kit. 465 horsepower only. That seems like a bit of a downgrade on the GTO, but there we go. And finally, the most important ingredient of the bunch, which I've already bought. Racing modification is actually quite cool on this car, but we're not going to use it because no other car in this event will be. So the reason we're going All Night 2 instead of All Night 1 is All Night 1 is against GT All-Stars and race cars. All Night 2 is against road cars, so that's why we're going for this one. Midsummer Night Festival. SS Route 11 is run on a specially built urban circuit. There you go. Entry list is there, so R32, Evo 3, Chaser, a bunch of other cars that will monster, essentially. I am also a big fan of that Ruby Red. The only thing I really want to see on here is trying to think in terms of I can't be bothered. Alright, let's do it. I was thinking about it. So in case you're wondering why I've gone also, yep, that's how long it takes to rev up here. Also that poor Civic, the poor 300 horsepower Civic in a grid 1 R32 with 600 horsepower. In case you are wondering why I have gone for super soft tyres, even though this is an endurance race, while I was playing through GT2 a couple of years ago, I stumbled across something that I think pretty much everyone's known for ages. But if you're like me and you didn't know, you will know this now. Soft tyres have absolutely no wear difference to the hards. There is no reason to not go for the soft tyres. The soft tyres and the hard tyres wear at the exact same rate. They never bothered to put any differentiator between the two. That's true in Gran Turismo 2, I'm going to assume, because why would they downgrade it? It's the same in GT1, and so that's why we're going soft tyres for all the endurances in this, and in GT2 I will also be going for soft compound at every endurance race, because there's no reason not to, really. So there you go, that's why. Also, I'm going to guess the difference between race 1 and race 2 is race 2 is in reverse. I actually forgot this is the reverse layout of SSR 11, but here we are. Yeah, I think GT3 did start differentiating between the compounds. But yeah, no, in GT1 and 2, it makes you, all the description and everything, like I say, I genuinely thought there was an issue, and I've never seen anyone mention the fact that it isn't like a thing. So I mean, either I'm like not reading the right places, or people genuinely don't know that. But no, tyre wear in these games literally doesn't matter. Fully upgraded gearbox. I'm a little bit annoyed I didn't get a 6th gear on the end of this. It is pretty much, yeah, it's definitely fixed in 4, because super soft tires in 4 are basically like unusable. So, I mean, in sort of 3 and 4 onwards, I'll always recommend medium tires. It's probably the best sort of balance for you, but depends on if it's a 10-lap race or a 5-lap race. A lot of the GT3 10-lap bonanzas that have tyre wear are essentially just a case of pit somewhere in the middle and you'll be okay. But good thing to know for my playthrough. Yo, Johannes, what's up, buddy? Your Rallia videos actually appeared in recommended while I was searching for something else the other day. I was searching for Marcus Gronholm's Kia Picanto advert and your Rallia videos came up, which is cool to see. Check out JM69 if you like rally content. He's superb. Of course, if you don't mind the fact that he's German. But yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I said, I've never seen anyone actually come out right and say it, and I see enough people think that there's differences, so I don't know, maybe there's a placebo thing going on, but no, you can literally run whatever tyres you want, whenever you want, because it's PS1 Gran Turismo, and I don't want to say they didn't care, but, you know. There's a time to care and a time to not. I'm imagining this is gonna be about an hour, if I had to guess. I want to say race 1 is the same amount of laps, I'm assuming. I don't really know, to be honest. But I'm going to assume for the purposes of this that it's the exact same amount of laps. I was actually slightly worried there about the thumbnails for this, because I'm taking the event pictures and I didn't want to cup in there, but I realised the event pictures I'm taking sort of crop out the cut bit, which is nice. Not nice, but, you know. We'll make the thumbnails look cool. We'll see. The Sunday Cup video hasn't actually gone out for this yet. The license video went out today, the IA license, in case anyone watching this at home is wondering the recording timeline of this. I think this is one of the very few LPs that I actually recorded in real time with the uploads, which I don't really like doing because it makes me feel like if I get randomly sick for the next 2 months or something, then everything sort of runs out of time, but we should be fine. With the recordings we've done today, that should take us to the end of Feb. And curtail us right into the GT2 side of things, which was recorded before this, but, you know, logic and sense have never been my forte. Yeah. I mean, I'm sort of used to it because I never really played. I've played PS3 backwards compat, but I don't really remember it all that much. Also, insane consistency there. Yeah, I don't really remember much about it, like not being in 50 FPS. Running at 50 FPS, patch for this helps sort of twofold, because it's useful for, you know, obviously making the game look prettier and run better, but it's also useful for the car handling, because car handling on 25 FPS is not good. So they say. It is not good, Herman. So I'm actually quite impressed how quickly everything come by tonight. I don't know how long we've been streaming for. 2 hours 50. And that was a little 10-minute break. At the endurance, I was actually a bit worried. I knew I was going to clip it at some point. I was actually a little bit worried we weren't going to get to this endurance tonight, and it was going to be a full stream thing, but I'm a little bit more confident now. There is 2 endurances coming. I think the way... I suppose it depends how short. I'm like internalizing this in my head, so don't mind me. But I think... I don't know. I'll let you guys sort of speak on this one. The races we have left after this are UK versus Japan, US versus Japan, and UK versus US. The other Route 11 endurance race and the Grand Valley 300 kilometers. Do we think it's worth breaking? I guess it means either one stream is US, UK, UK. Actually, I don't know. I think it will be a 4 streamer. Actually, one of those streams is either going to be really short or because we could do like Grand Valley World Cup and sort of and GT1 that way. That'd be cool. I guess you get the 2 iconic events on one stream. And again, sort of a nice little sort of segue in. Yeah, it helps massively. It doesn't fix the suspension bumping. If I like... I'm trying to sort of find a curve that I could use for this. Like, you can sort of see it's still a thing, but it's a lot less random than it is in the game with the 25 FPS fact, because essentially what 50 FPS is doing is the physics engine essentially... I think the physics engine in the base game is somehow... Someone who knows it more than I do could absolutely explain this, but essentially it's sort of frame limited, and it essentially... Running at 50 FPS means that the physics engine has basically twice the time to think about what you're doing. And so as a result, it can sort of become a more consistent thing, if you will. I genuinely think, looking at this right now, this is probably going to be like one of the most boring endurance races you've ever seen. This is either going to be... I mean, realistically, I could just pit twice, because I don't think the AI is going to get anywhere near me. So I guess for intrigue, I might just pit on lap 10 and 20. The way I'm assuming most people will do this, because you absolutely have the ability to do this, would be to literally like pit on lap 15, just halfway through it, and then just ride the tyres to the end and nurse it to the end. But we won't go for the nursing approach. I think we'll just go for the all-out attack. We'll go for the Michael Schumacher Ferrari approach here and just absolutely smash it in for a little bit. That's what I'm thinking, anyway. I don't know how long a pit stop is, probably like 20 seconds. And if I'm not 20 seconds clear of the AI cars already, I will be by the end of this stint. So I think that's how we play this. Maximum attack, maximum energy. That is the way to do it, I think. I think like that, I think like that. There we go. Sort of lost a little bit in translation there with the old power slide through there, but you know, we make it work. We roll, we roll, we rock, we rock, we roll, we rock, we rock, we roll, we roll, we rock, we rock. You know, etc., etc. So I'll do my... I'm mostly curious how slow that's... Yeah, you will probably see that Civic quite a bit. If you are enjoying the stream right now, make sure to drop a like on it. I'm doing this 7 laps into an endurance race, so I don't feel guilty about doing this in the video. Drop a like on the stream, or, you know, the video if you're watching. Although I never do this, but, you know, if you like it, you can drop a like on it. It helps. Subscribe if you're new. You can also become a channel member if you like. $1.99, you get some emojis in the chat and in the comment section. and $4.99 you get your name at the start of these videos. And if you're watching this on stream, I think I'm only done up until mid-Feb, so if you become a member now, you get your name in now. Like, literally right now. After today, this offer is not available anymore. Because, yeah, I think we'll probably be fine after that. I need to record some hot lap before the end of Feb, but that should probably be alright. I'll do that tomorrow, probably. Yeah, do you know what, honestly? I've struggled so hard with not just putting Atlantis into this LP. Johannes, you should do that. When you play through this game, if you let's play it for the channel, you should absolutely use the Atlantis for one of the Enduros. Atlantis needs to feel whole again. I would do it, but yeah, I feel like you know, I feel like I'm A, not good enough at GT1 to pull it off, and 2, it doesn't really fit. Because I feel like the one thing no one really does when they LP this game is showcase the special models. I feel like a lot of LPs, including my original one, to be clear, this is a knock at me as well, a lot of them are prize car, essentially. You know, they'll use the Chaser LM that you win from GT Cup on, you know, one of the sports car races, or they'll use it on one of the endurance races, and then you win the Castrol Supra for, I think it's the Grand Valley 300 kilometers, because everyone knows that. And then, like, from there you win that, and it's cool, and then, you know, you beat the GT World Championship with that Castrol Supra, and yada yada yada. And I get that Castrol Supra is iconic, but we will not be ending our LP with the Castrol Supra. Mark my words. Okay, no commentary. Yeah, that's cool. Honestly, if I was smart, I'd be doing a no commentary on the second channel to try and boost that a little bit, but I feel like that second channel isn't... I don't know. Maybe when I do... I have no idea what happened there. If I ever get around to doing... With the whale tail is immense. Yeah, the Castrol Atlantis is very, very cool. If I ever get around to doing the WRC games again, I'll put one of those on the second channel again, I think. But I got like halfway through that. What's really annoying about that second channel is that WRC2 playthrough I did with the Zara that I didn't even finish has like way more views than the WRC2 a Let's Play that I did that actually has like commentary and had a modicum more effort put into it than that did, which is very annoying, but that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. I like how that one says Mazda speed and that one says Mazda. It's almost like you're supposed to read those the other way around, but here we are. And so shouts out to the same song playing in the background. Fortunately it's not one of the feeder ones, so I shouldn't get copyright dinged when I inevitably run out of things to say partway through this endurance race. That's what chat's here for. Chat's here to help us through the endurance races. Average YouTube moment, true. The stream is actually called Gran Turismo 1997. It is not YouTube's weirdness. The stream is actually called Gran Touring or Tourist. I thought it was funny. Because my sense of humor is horrendous. You'll find this out, I'm a deeply unfunny individual. That's why I do these things to make me laugh. Because the same things that make us laugh makes us cry. I'm lucky I'm a family guy. Right, we're gonna pit next lap. Because the tyres are already going slightly yellow and I can't be asked to drag this set of dead tyres longer than I need to. Because like I say, I'm already like way ahead of the AI, so we may as well add some small modicum of intrigue to this, I guess. If I knew I was going to be this far ahead, I probably wouldn't have fully upgraded this. Although looking at the opponents for this event, I should absolutely be getting cruise missile right now. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So, I'm a family guy. I'm a funny guy. I'm a family guy. If I get insomnia, if I listen to the feeder chant, yeah, very good. I prefer the feeder songs in this game to Insomnia, to be honest. Potentially controversial take. The only feeder album I own is actually the one, not the one that's directly in this game. I have like the reissue that came with a few more tracks, but Swim, which I think is the first feeder album, or EP technically, but I'm going to say album because or annoy music people. Yeah, that was good. Sweet 16, Shade, Swim, it's all good stuff. Feeder's probably a band I should listen to more. I feel like, honestly though, kind of once you've heard, once you've listened to a Feeder single, you've kind of listened to all of them. This controller is strangely... There we go. There's like vibrating really weird for a second. Alright, here we go. I love the slow sort of switching of sides there. My turbo lag is going to be my undoing in these pit stops, apparently. That being said, I have just pit with like what must be okay. The game does not turn for you. Good to know. Yeah, I've pit with like 15 seconds on the leaders, and now I've got like fresh tires to go ahead and attack this. Although the pit stop took a little bit longer than I expected. It's like 40 seconds or so. But in that case, I'm assuming... I kind of want to pass the Civic before its first pit stop, but I'm assuming that'll probably... The pit stop will probably happen before that. I don't know. He's probably like 40 seconds up the road, something like that. Yeah. The music, okay, here's, honestly, this is where controversial opinions fly. GT1, generally good soundtrack. I like the fact that it's almost the same between the regions. Excuse me. Which is what I like about it. Apart from the fact, of course, that technically speaking, PAL is the ultimate soundtrack because it has feeder songs that aren't in the North American version. But I mean, you have this stuff, which is kind of cool, I guess, this sort of, like, very 90s industrial dance remix of an existing song. I think Cubanate and there's another one are both from one band. Oh, I can't remember the name of right now. But if you actually listen to these songs, it's very sort of metally. Whereas these are more sort of industrial chip-tune versions of them, if you will. GT1's generally good. GT2's so weird. I feel like as a kid you grow up liking the North American soundtrack more, and as an adult your taste mature and you come more around to the PAL soundtrack. You know, outside of Alien Heaven for obvious reasons. Yeah, because like the North American soundtrack as a kid sounds awesome because it's got like actual songs, but Yeah, so you have like I'm trying to think how to explain it. North American soundtrack has more like actual songs, and it has some good songs. It has Paranoid, which is great, by Garbage. Garbage also has a song in this game, Only Happy When It Rains, which I know personally because I got copyright dinged on the first LP for Only Happy When It Rains, ironically in this endurance race, which is not in this endurance race this time around, which is very good. Only Happy When It Rains. You've got Sex Type Thing by Stone Temple Pilots, which is an absolutely insane song to include into the game. It's a good song. It's just absolutely insane in hindsight that anyone at Polyphony listens to the lyrics, "You should never have worn that dress, and actually thought that was suitable for this game. That's good. And then sort of once you get past those two bangers, it kind of falls apart. Super Bonbon is, you know, Super Bonbon's fine. I actually like Super Bonbon as a song. As a car got stuck in the pit lane. There is a green dot that is not moving. Okay. Well, I guess the RX-7 has died of rotary failure. Yeah, so... what the fuck? Yeah, so outside of those two songs, you have the Dracula remix, which is not very good. You have Super Bonbon, which is funny. You have Cold Rock the Mic, which is atrocious. I'm sorry. Cold Rock the Mic sucks. That's my Gran Turismo fiery take right now. Cold Rock the Mic and Now Is the Time are terrible songs. They're actually the worst songs in Gran Turismo. Genuinely. Atrocious songs. So then we come to like the PAL soundtrack. And the PAL soundtrack, you've got a lot of not great stuff and some instrumentals. So you've got obviously Illing in Heaven, which is funny. You've got that weird instrumental Bartender and the Thief. I don't know why they can't just have Bartender and the Thief the song by Stereophonic, but there you go, that's what they got. You also had like Ash, which was like a weird instrumental as well, which is even weirder considering there's an Ash song in GT1, which is just bizarre. You know, the instrumental stuff will work. But you also have Everything But the Girl, which is an absolute banger of a song, just to be clear. Also, I'm not going to do it this time round, but vote amongst yourselves whether I should rear-end this RX-7 and see if we can get him moving again, or if we just sort of leave him to it. I don't know if it might be one of those situations where his AI has just died, though. For those of you who don't know, Gran Turismo AI, after it like gets stuck for a couple of minutes or so in the first few games, just kind of stops moving. Like, I don't know if it thinks it's out of bounds or it's freaked out or something, but it'll just sort of go limp on the straight away and not move, so... yeah, I'll let you guys vote on whether we help him out. Yeah, the Japanese soundtrack of Gran Turismo, I genuinely, like... how nuclear do we want to go here? I like Gran Turismo soundtracks, just as, like, the sort of Japanese sort of songs and all the rest of it. It's fine. But, yeah, gotta be honest, not okay. Not a fan of, something pitting. I don't know what it is that's pitting, but something has pitted. RX-7's still not underway yet. I haven't seen the Civic yet, but I'm assuming that's what's right around this corner. The laps have been a bit slow because I'm sort of keeping an eye on seeing whether that RX-7 will move or not. But no, I've got to be honest, I feel like anyone who goes, no, the soundtrack that you actually want to play Gran Turismo 2 is the Japanese soundtrack. I feel like they're hipsters. Do you not feel like they're like contrarian people? You know, the same people who are like, dude, SUVs aren't cool, I miss the 80s where every car looks like a full Taurus. Do you not feel it's kind of like those people? I don't think his AI is dead because I can still hear the engine going on that thing. Actually, I should leave him there for a little bit longer. I should leave him there to stew so the Civic can beat the RX-7 for general hilarity. I feel like that's the way to do this. Although he must be a lap down or a few by now, I'm assuming. I am not a Special Stage Route 11 fan, to be honest. I am not a big SSR 11 person. I don't really get this course, to be honest. I feel like if it didn't have the Death Chicane in it, no one would really care, and that's why in GT3 no one really cared this came back. So, I'm not really a big... SSR5 I could get behind, because SSR5's kind of got like a variety of turns. This does fit... Ooh, okay. This more feels like it's just a bunch of like weird tight hairpins for like no good reason. Like a lot of the corners are just sort of kind of meaningless. Admittedly, that might have been because it's been put into GT1, which is a game where you get to wall ride this entire track essentially. But yeah. I'm actually shocked it has taken as long as it has. But unfortunately, the dearly beloved Civic is about to be passed. Yeah, bye-bye Civic. I feel like he's absolutely redlining. He's going down there. The worst bit is, there's also a car in front of him, which isn't that much further down the road. I don't know what this is that's sort of coming up in a couple of laps time. That being said, we're probably not going to see it because we're going to sort of speed past this. Or rather, sorry, we're going to go into a pit stop on lap 20. So we're probably not going to see what this is for a little while, but it's still something to note. I like technical tracks. Yeah, technical tracks is fine. This just seems like, I don't know. Technical tracks that have flow are fine. This has no flow. It is literally just 90-degree corner, 90-degree corner, 270-degree corner. Death chicane, haha, funny. Like, this bit of the track literally need not exist. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Gran Turismo, I assume they had to accelerate the tyre wear just to, like, actually have a reason for other tyre compounds other than the soft one to exist. Because realistically, if it was like real life and soft tyres lasted like 10, 12 laps, I'm using F1 as a gauge because I don't watch anything else with tyre changes. You know, like, you know. I am not... I know what you mean. Personally, I am not a fan of the Japanese soundtrack of this game in general. Yeah. I imagine someone like probably modded this into a Seto or something. But no, I know what you mean about the GT1 Japanese soundtracks. I've got to be honest, I don't like them. I've got to be honest, this is also a bit of a nuclear take for GT1 in general. I am no fan of this game's menu music. I feel like anything that was good got remixed in GT2 and made better. And a lot of it, like the main menu soundtrack and some of the other ones just kind of hurt my ears because they're very sort of like MIDI, like bing bong music. Like it's very sort of straight, like unfiltered tones. I do not like that. It sort of hurts my brain a little bit. But you know, I mean, if you like it, I wouldn't knock it. It's just not me. No one's made this in AC. I know some really untalented person who could probably make this in AC. He made Rome in AC. It sucks, but it is there. If you want to drive around a very poorly created version of Rome from GT2, which I think even actually uses GT2's assets, so it looks appalling, but it does drive like Rome. It is Rome. Maybe, I don't know. I gotta be honest, I kind of... Oh my god, the RX-7's free. The RX-7 is free. The RX-7 has freed itself. I don't know how far he is behind. I'm assuming... I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm the fastest car on track. If I've only lapped that Civic once, unless I did it when he was in a pit lane and just wasn't paying attention, I feel like that RX-7 is not gonna catch that. So I feel like Civic Supremacy might be on here. Maybe. I've got to be honest, in that situation, I do tend to think I probably would think the same if I'd heard the other versions before. Because sometimes I do hear original songs and I prefer the remixes of them. It does happen sometimes. But yeah, I don't know, it's just the chip tuniness. I don't like the chip tuniness. I don't like the... I genuinely thought another car got stuck at the pit lane there. If the Civic gets stuck at the pit lane, you free it. You know, like a fish caught in a can opener. Oh my god, we're about to lap the RX-7. Listen, buddy, I know you just like freed yourself and everything, but like, you know. Sorry. Today is just not your day. Oh yeah, the GT6 custom track. I never played it anymore. I don't think I ever played GT6 online. I played it... That RX-7 has not gone into the pit lane, has it? The RX-7's gone in the pit lane. Bro was literally stuck at the pit lane for hours on end, and he's just gone straight back in. If that car's gone into there, and it gets stuck at the end of here, which I'm assuming then means there's something inherently weird going on with it getting stuck there. It's stuck there again. Does that mean that the AI is technically coordinated to not run on like certain... You know what I mean, right? Like, are they calculated to pit according to the player's lap as opposed to according to their own tyre wear based on that? That seemed like a very weird way to do it, but the way that's stuck again just seems very odd to me. Super one bonds on from this, yeah. It's somewhat weird with that specific car though. There's somewhat weird about that specific car getting stuck there. Because it's not happening to any of these other cars. It's only that one. And I don't really know why, because it's not like the RX-7's like a bad handling car or anything like that. Like, it's a pretty okay thing, so I don't know why it would be that car specifically that gets confused, but, you know. I don't know if that helped him, I just wanted to bop him. we'll actually free it. We'll go in the pit lane in a minute and we'll actually free that car from itself. Yeah, it just seems weird because it's been stuck on there. And it absolutely, there's no way it would have been wearing its tyres that thin, just being stuck there. You wouldn't imagine. It would not surprise me though if it thinks the lap the player is on is the lap in which it should pit or something weird like that. Like it's obviously designed to do offsets, but like by how much I don't really know. I genuinely thought this was an eclipse because it was red. It's taken the chicane a million times better than I have. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on there. It's interesting though. Oh, another reason why I guess I'm going to make excuses 38 minutes into this. Another reason why I fully upgraded this car, to be perfectly honest, is it means the endurance race is over with faster. Whenever there's an opportunity to get an endurance race over with quicker, I'll take it. Because I am not a fan of endurance racing. I do not want to have a close race with an AI 10 minutes towards the end of a 50-minute race. That is not me. I have been atted. Go, be free. No, what are you doing? Free yourself. I mean, if you're not going to help yourself, then I'm not either. Alright, whatever. Stay there. It's your funeral, pal. Yeah, he's content, you know. It's hibernation season for the RX-7, you know. He's fine. I mean, I don't... Look, I'll be honest, right? Here's the deal. I'm not, as an SUV driver myself, I don't really particularly like the fact that it's... After talking about endurance race being done sooner, you're helping me out somehow. Yeah, I mean, as a fellow SUV driver myself, I'm not really a fan of the fact that the category is as big as it is. But I will say, all of these idiots who are like, oh, all cars look the same now, it's all SUV. Guess what? Cars have always been the same. Cars are always based on whatever sells well. Guess what? I like the 90s, you like the 90s. 90s boring cars are cool, yeah. Do they all look different? No. I'm gonna play a game. I'm gonna make this at some point. I have determined this in my head. I am going to make, you know that stupid image every like brainless imbecile uses whenever they think SUVs, that white image where they all take the wheel designs away. By the way, I can name every car on that image. That's not a flex, it's just easy to do. Right, I am going to take that image and I'm going to apply that same logic to 80s sports cars. I'm going to put the RX-7 FC, I'm going to put the Mark III Super, I'm going to put the Porsche 944, all of them. And I bet you any money, the same effect, the exact same effect will take place, where you can barely tell the difference between all of them, because guess what, cars all look kind of the same, you They always have done, they always will do. That's how that works. But yeah, you know, every car in the 80s looked like a box. Every car in the 70s looked like a box. Every car in the 90s looked like a bar of soap. Every car in the 2000s, I don't know, was confused. Every car in the 2010s had LED lights, and every car in the 2020s is big. You know, what do you want? Admittedly, car design these days is, because they sort of need to sell EVs on something, because you can't just do it on technology and design. They are trying to be different. I don't like it. I'd rather personally, I've always been a big believer in, I'd rather something just look good as opposed to like different. I don't like the Nissan Juke. I don't like the Hyundai Kona. I don't like the Xpeng G6. I don't like, you know, all these cars that are supposed to look radically different. I don't like the BMW iX3. You know, different isn't always better. Ford Probe, same thing. You can stick a Ford Probe next to the Porsche 968 side profile and they probably look roughly the same. I genuinely do not remember. So here's my little theory on licensed music for Gran Turismo. I've spoke about this a couple of times. I feel like sort of from GT3 onwards, you know, GT4 had, I think it had like 96 songs or something. Once you start having 96 songs that all play in the same rotation, it becomes really hard for songs to stand out. You know, I like GT4's PAL soundtrack as a whole. I think it's pretty good. Can I name most of the songs in it? Honestly, no. I can name I can name Go With The Flow. I can name Michael by Franz Ferdinand, because that song's weird. I can name I Predict a Riot, because that was like a popular song back in like 2005. You know, I can name these songs that are good, mostly because I know them from other places. You know, it's like playing the North American franchise. I can name, or the North American version of the game, I can name Panama, because it's part of the worst GC4 intro. Fight me. I can name The Donners. I like that song. You know, and outside of that, I sort of struggle. There's Hot Rod Honeymoon, which I know because it's funny. You know. I also love how the 1000 digit in this game, by the way, just sort of doesn't move. It's always funny too. No, but you're wrong, though. Like, sedans exist. You can still buy a 3 Series. You can buy a C-Class. You can buy an A6. You can buy an A5. You can buy all these things. Mainstream saloons, I agree, kind of died. But guess what? No one bought them. Do you remember the Toyota Corolla Saloon that was available until 2022? No, of course you don't. No one bought it. Coupes, you've got the new Honda Prelude, you've got the 4 Series, you've got the GLE. You know, there's quite a few of those. Estates, again, Germans. Volvo doesn't. I think they still do the V60. The Corolla estate still exists. It's like every taxi man's favourite car. Yeah. Roadsters. Convertibles, I will agree with you. Convertibles are absolutely a dying breed. Convertibles are absolutely dying out. Mostly because people aren't really willing to put up with all the disadvantages of a Roadster. You know. Roadsters are kind of dead, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think there's 16 on sale, and a lot of them are sort of derivatives. Oh god. Might give me the Maserati, baby, the Bugatti. Look at him. I like Idris Elba's verse in that song. I'll put that also. GT7's songs in general are not very good, just to be clear. Oh, the RX-7 freed itself again. I like the fact that GT7 has that one TikTok song in it. I found that very funny. That song. I found that quite funny. No, I agree it's not the same, but it's never going to be the same. Like, the truth of the matter is, sort of once... To be honest, this is kind of true. Like, once they kind of figured out how to make a car that's tall and just about as good to drive as a, you know, hatchback, why would... It's like me. I mean, I have a CRV, brand new CRV. I had a brand new Civic. The CRV drives 90% as good as the Civic does. Is it as fun to drive? Probably not. How many times did I really want the Civic to be that fun to drive? Not that often. You know, and yet, despite that, you get all of the benefits of having the SUV. It's bigger, which means you can fit a bigger battery to it, which means it's more economical. You can give it a bigger boot. There's no point of having the Civic Estate anymore because you can just have the CRV, which is ginormous. Yeah, a sort of box estate. It has a really good presence on the road. It's ridiculously large. You know, it's kind of better, and honestly, that car's kind of the spiritual successor to the Accord, really. And I love my Accord, and I want my Accord back, but I've got the RX-7 stuck again. Right, one more attempt to like unlodge this guy, and then we're giving up on him. Free, go! Oh yeah. No, you use TikTok. My ex was massively into TikTok, so I sort of remember some of the songs. I had actual revulsion hearing that. It's true. You can hate. I'm that guy, you know. You can hate me, but I'm right. You know. They are kind of just better. In most cases, they're not. You know, like if you are comparing a like for like. You know, I'm trying to think. Like, if you're comparing a Focus to a Qashqai, the Qashqai is going to be less economical. It's not that much bigger than a Focus. Yada yada yada. The actual well-engineered SUVs, i.e., Reed CRV, they are bigger than the cars that they're based on. And so, the TikTok stuff, yeah. Give him 2 laps and stuck in. I think it gets stuck coming out of pit stop, so I'm assuming it's going to be fine now. It shouldn't need to pit again. I think it only just gotten stuck there again. And let's be honest, we are like sort of in the closing stages of this. Unless he's on a free stop strategy, which would be absolutely insane, but maybe he is. Who knows? He could be him. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I really like consumers sort of chose SUVs for a reason. But if it's any solace to you, in truth, and it has been happening for a long time now, the SUVs are kind of becoming more car-like, and the cars are becoming more SUV-like. So it's sort of just gonna contravene into everything. I feel like, here's an interesting analogy for you. I don't think this is quite true with SUVs, but I don't think it's on the far off. Do you remember the early 2000s where mini MPVs were everywhere? You had the Scenic, you had the Fiat Idea, you had the Ford Focus C-Max, you had all of these cars. Do you know what happened to all them cars? Car makers took them apart, learned their tricks, and just converted that into a hatchback. In truth, really, the Focus was the first car to do it when you actually think about it. Like, if you take apart the first gen Focus's design, they were sort of going after Scenic by making it sort of rounder and taller than the Escort, and so as a result you have more headroom, you have more space in the car. And that's why mini MPVs kind of died, because you could basically get the same amount of practicality out of the hatchback, or indeed it sort of grew a little bit into the crossover with the Qashqai and etc, etc. And so that sort of made that class of car kind of redundant, because it was eaten into other classes. I don't know if the SUV's going to do that, but it's certainly something to think about. I mean, it's just weird in general for cars. I think we're in a weird time, you know. Why are you pissing now? I feel like we're in a bit of a weird time. I don't disagree with you, cars have become a lot less interesting. But in truth, I'm finding, weirdly enough, my disinterest in sort of modern cars isn't really coming from the mass market stuff, because I think some of the mass market stuff's interesting. You know, especially with like sort of what's happening with EVs and all the rest of it. It's like, you know, there's a weird stuff happening. It's not the doom and gloom future they were sort of praying it would be. You know, a lot of people are sort of rolling stuff back and seeing some really fascinating engineering solutions, like Mazda's straight 6 diesel. You've got that Lotus Electre, which is apparently coming with like a 220-mile range and a range extending petrol engine. You know, you've got like Dodge just screaming all the way back to the Hemi because Dodge. I feel my disinterest with the car market is more coming from the top end stuff. I don't know if it's just me, but I do not care about hypercars anymore, man. You know, I feel like the Koenigsegg Agera came out, and I adore the Agera, and something in my brain must have just switched and said, yep, that's as good as it's gonna get. You know, that Veyron homage they brought out was very cool, but I mean, other than that, like, I'm sorry, I don't care about the Pagani Utopia, I don't care about the new version of the Ferrari Testarossa. Like, I don't even get angry, or I just have no feelings towards any of this stuff, because it's like, you can get like 1,000 horsepower out of a toaster these days, you know. And all of these cars are the same, all of them cost like 3 million, all of them are just going to be driven by like some dude, crypto scammer in Dubai, who just owns it for the sake of owning it. Like, you know what I mean? You can't use these cars, they're just not interesting, you know. I can name every small SUV Skoda makes. I can't tell you what McLaren makes. No one can. Can you name the full McLaren range right now? No. You know, it's just, I don't know. There's something about it that's just becoming less and less appealing. And I don't think it's because speed is democratized by EVs and all this anymore. You know, you can get a Model 3 for like 10 grand that'll do 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds or anything like that. I don't know what it is about them. I mean, I'm pleased people sort of agreeing with me, but I don't know what it is about the hypercar stuff in it, but I just don't care. I don't know if it's because, you know, to see hypercars in the olden days, you had to like, back in my day, you had to watch Top Gear to find out about the latest hypercars, whereas now you just sort of see them on CarWow and scroll past them, and it's like, dude, this new Starlet company has announced yet another, you know, it's like, even like the Gordon Murray T50 is bollocks. I hate it. It's a homage to a car that, you know, I just don't care. I don't care about any of these things, so I don't know. I feel like SUVs are the least of the car industry's problems if they can't make, you know, hypercars and stuff desirable. I mean, what's a desirable car nowadays? I don't know. Me personally, I want to, you know, waft around in a Cullinan or something. I was looking at old CLSs the other day, like the first gen CLS. That's a good looking car. I'd love one of those for about 2 seconds before it exploded. But no, I mean, I'm glad I'm sort of being agreed with here, that I'm like not the only one who just doesn't have any interest in these vehicles that are coming out. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just because it is just less special all around you. You see them everywhere. You see them all like time on social media. And I suppose, unlike when you're like younger and you're like, oh, I wonder what sort of cool person would own a Pagani Zonda. You know, nowadays you kind of know what sort of person would own a Pagani Zonda, and you don't actually want to be anywhere near them. So, how many like laps down do we think that RX-7 is going to be? I'm gonna put a guess in that it's gonna be 13 laps down. That's my guess. Because I don't think it's been stuck there for that long. I think I would have lapped it once anyway, sort of dynamically. In truth, I think I should have lapped a lot of these cars a lot more. I think it's the NSX and the Skyline that are just up the road here. If I was driving a little bit better and not trying to free the RX-7 from certain death, I probably would have lapped them. But here we are. Oh, does this game not tell you? Or can we just... I'll cut this out of the video. I bet he gets stuck again, so this just never ends. It's gonna get stuck again. It's stuck again. We're now gonna find out he got stuck again. Sick. Ha! I like how that speeds up. That's very cute. And we get 150 grand for the pleasure of doing that, which I think pretty much pays for the car, which is nice. Right, remind me I need to record a lap with this. Okay. I guess you don't get the notification saying you won a car, but you do get a car. You get the Nismo GTR LM, which is a very cool car. An exquisite car, in fact. This car's in the intro. Do you know this was the original Gran Turismo intro car? It's not always been the Castrol Supra. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join us next time when we are going to be diving into the US versus Japan Sports Car Championship. Join us for that. Until then, farewell.